Hello and welcome to another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. I am the player who plays as the King under the Mountain, and today this is going to be the second part in my series of videos called The Rise of the Free-to-Play, which I think, even though it is aimed at the more free-to-play players, it's sort of good practice for everyone, so it's kind of a good practice guide. And today's aptly, because this is kind of where we're at in the season, we're talking about base defense. So first of all, as you can see here, we have a series of things. We are going to get uprooted at some point during this time, but not necessarily straight away. I am trying to concentrate on what I'm doing, as well as also killing stuff here, but we'll see. So, first key to base defense is throwing out as many spam tiles as possible. So when everyone relocates together, there should always just be this one tile gap. And when there's this one tile gap, ideally we'd have captured all this road as well, to be honest. It's just the perfect way of defending bases together. Now, at the moment, there isn't a lot of people online, so the chances of actually defending the base are pretty low. I was actually just about to recommend that I was about to take these tiles, but someone here, to be fair to them, has already taken them for me. So the key is to get as many tiles as possible in front of you. And then it's a case of doing things like pick your targets, which is what I will show you to do very shortly. Obviously, when you get relocated, you could get relocated to anywhere. I would hope at this stage we might get relocated to Emin, which we took last night using the siege that we were talking about, where 3 players actually sieged a 500k keep. So that was impressive. So the next kind of point really is just to sort of show you what I mean by picking your targets. So I know this guy isn't the strongest of players, and I can just about beat him to it before this tile goes red. So we'll just have a look here at the tile reports already. I've looked at these tiles and seen that it's an army that I can beat. So it's just a case of slowing people down as much as possible, which is what this key is, making sure you kill the pathers. I won't necessarily be hitting this one because this guy is really strong. And actually a really good player, to be fair, and a really nice guy. He's the leader of DK itself. But his formation's really strong, so I know with my secondary, I'm not likely to be able to kill that. But I want him to waste as much main stamina as possible getting to my settlement. The other great thing to do is to spawn these bosses. So they have to do a rally to get rid of them. Otherwise, they last for another 9 hours. So they can't actually physically take the 200 tiles. So it sort of funnels them really onto sort of going in 2 directions, which is also quite handy. Like I said, this is only going to be a short video about base defense, but what I would probably do is I would take these tiles around the side of my base in a minute when this command is back. And I would look at just basically slowing down the enemy as much as possible. The other way of doing things for base defense, if you haven't got this method, is to sort of put random path in armies. So I don't know whether I've got anyone else in base or whether they're all up north. So what I would suggest, we've now cleaned this tile, so they'll probably try and go straight through here. Now I will probably find out what's on this tile before I get hit. Looks like a couple of armies that are nearly dead. But the problem is now if I go into that, although that's actually glitched. So look, we're now being attacked from around here. And that army will be strong enough to kill us because it's only in my secondary formation. So we're going to recall to base. And then when they hit that tile, we'll see what the army is. We could probably have killed this tile here, so we'll go for this next. The other key to this base defense is, he says, could just do with calling another formation back, really. Who should I call back? Got them a callback come all, and I'll speed recall. So I'll show you what I mean by this. So I can use Kamal with 1 troop as a bit of a decoy. So I will put, say, 1 guardian And then I'll remove the rest of the armies from the formation because there's no point in them dying. And I will use this army as a decoy. So what you can kind of do is you can put, say, like a sort of checkerboard pattern in front of yourself. And then just using 1 unit armies, it means that they have to hit you with their main army next. So for example, this guy here, I know I can hit him again. So I'll refill Gandalf and I will take him down. Hopefully without DK coming forward and killing me. So what the aim of this is I will get taken down eventually, but in the meantime, it will help the other players last a little bit longer. So I've got a decoy army here now. We've got a couple of dragons around stopping routes as well. We could do filling in a few more tiles if possible. And then the other great thing about trying to defend your base is once they actually start sieging your base, you can pick off siege. So if you see someone coming in with just a pure siege army, you can refill your troops, so you can drop your army completely. So there's no formations actually open in your settlement. And then just kill the siege by sort of making your army come alive again. Which is another really good tip, to be honest. So we've got another couple of victories there. Always a good way as well of getting some quite good merit. So we'll see what this army is as well. If I couldn't see what these armies were, I may use this 1 unit as a scout. So say if that was a purple tile and I can't see the tile report, I would send this 1 unit at that tile to scout to see what it is. So we're going to trap guard this Gothmog, hopefully, as long as I actually win this tile. There we go. So now we're going to trap guard the Gothmog here. And that's another tile gone. And then before the next army comes in, we are going to remove ourselves and refill. So like I say, if this tower was purple, just try and explain that a little bit better. I would get this 1 unit Pather and I would just move it here so it hits it. So the 1 unit will die. As you see there, we've done quite well there. So if I had my main down here as well, I would probably try and defend a little bit heavier and probably hit DK. But I don't have the main down here. So with these being blue tiles again, we can just check the tower report. This army would be too strong, I would suggest, definitely, for my secondary formation. Now I could try if I had large units and run a counter to try and kill it, but realistically, I'm just trying to waste that guy's stamina as much as I can. So hopefully, he will have to turn around and hit this army here, because he'll try and think that it's probably my main. And then the key will be that it will actually just be a 1 unit Pather. So we're filling up again. Obviously we're burning through troops like nobody's business, but we are defending quite well. Again, we can check this. This guy's also strong from memory. Used to be in Utes. So we've now got people's main armies having to come at us because we've obviously defended quite well, which means we're kind of doing our job. But again, we probably can't take that tile down. So we're looking for something that we can take again. So we'll kind of extend our range out a little bit. So this guy's the guy that we actually nearly killed before. So what I might do is, although I don't know if it'll walk around. Sometimes the routes aren't great. Okay, it does walk around. So we're going to try and just use Kamul. Just to see really what this is. And see if it's full or not. And then we'll keep rotating. And that's kind of my keys to not necessarily successful base defense. Sometimes it does work and you will take away the attackers and you can push back and you can take these tiles. But generally, when you're trying to defend your own base, the key is to make sure you kill as much siege as possible, make it as awkward as possible, because then the other bases will survive longer. I'm conscious that I'm just kind of stood in the middle of nowhere here with no gear on. We are filling up this tactical fort here. Trying to fill up this fort as well, to be honest, but I'm struggling a little bit. This is the keep we took last night. And we're just trying to relocate there. But we're not on that. We're on base defense. So again, if Golem hits this and does quite a lot of damage, I'd be tempted to send my main because it's still within a march of where I need to be. We'll definitely avoid this tower for now, even though that guy's over the top, so he'll probably go next. We'll just see if this is full. Like I say, if the main was down here as well, we'd probably take these two on and probably defend a little bit more successfully. But we're kind of intrigued to see where we bounce to, because I'm hoping that we bounce to the keep that we've taken, but we'll see. So this is what I was saying. So to find out, you just use scouts. And that's all that's there. It's literally a 3-unit puffer. So actually, they left before we hit, so it wasn't even a puffer. So Golem died. What did it leave? We'll probably get killed here because this is the joys of the meta, but we're gonna give it a go, and we'll see how we get on. So there isn't really a lot else that I wanted to say, but from a base defense point of view, what I was trying to say from a free-to-play player, because I kind of got distracted there and actually defending my own base. Obviously, the lighter formations are the ones that you're trying to aim for, the people with lesser gear, and you can find that out from tile reports, like I've just shown. The key is to fill in as many tiles as possible. So when I finish this, I'll probably finish filling in these tiles around here. So if you are going to get uprooted, they really have to work hard for it. So you can see they're coming from this way as well. And this is another main. But it's a case of you trying to burn as much stamina as possible so that their main armies can't actually get too far into your settlements. So hopefully people come online and defend all together. One good way is for if you've got 5 or 6 bases together, you all defend the front line together. And you should be able to organise a pushback using even just sort of 1-unit pathers, really. I'm going to do a video on pathing probably after this one, to be honest. So we have killed that army. I bet it hurt, though. That's actually a lot better than what I expected it to be. So again, we'll recall. So we've probably, with that 10 minutes or so period of time there, killing those armies, we've probably bought ourselves another half an hour and bought a team maybe another hour or so, particularly by the time we filled in these. And that was kind of all I wanted to say, really. So it was just some basic tips on base defense. 1, always aim for the siege. 2, get as many tiles as possible, because again, if you're marching to a tile rather than actually attacking a tile, you're using 10 stamina, they're using 20. So you want them to use as many of their mains as possible. Spawn these bosses everywhere, so you can, you are holding these tiles for a longer period of time. Make sure all the gaps are filled in. We are coming to fill these gaps in now in case people decide to come around the side. Your other thing you can do is if you know there are weaker armies back here, say, which this would probably be one that we'd be able to hit. If you had flying units, you could then fly over and kill the pathers behind, or even take the path itself, so that then they can't reinforce. So you can probably send a full Eagle March twice at these tiles, and it would kill the durability, and then send a single Eagle just to make sure they sat on it. So if someone has to try and take the tile, you're only losing 1 Eagle, which is quite useful. So this guy we can kill, we know that, and we will have a go at it. So again, we're making the main armies use their stamina rather than any pathing armies. Like so. So just to reiterate that point again, so I could send a full Eagle March here, hit them both twice, it'd clear the durability, and then just send a single Eagle just to sit and occupy the tile, meaning that someone like this has got to use their main army to guard at least for 10 stamina just to stop me from breaking this path. So there are many different ways of defending. Again, you see, you could cut these guys by getting this tile here. Or even if you really wanted to be creative, you could probably cut here. If you could cut there, then you can probably clean up a lot of this area. But they were kind of my basics of base defense. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And if in doubt, as always, always follow your nose.